Labor Day afternoon, we're at sold-out McMahon Stadium. We're set for the second half of our doubleheader. It's the Battle of Alberta, the Calgary Stampeders and the Edmonton Eskimos, the CFL on CBC. Can this Labor Day be a new beginning for the Calgary Stampeders? They'll be playing to erase the past 10 weeks, looking for a reversal of fortune. Jim Barker and company will do it before a sellout crowd here at McMahon Stadium. The Edmonton Eskimos want to spoil the Stampeders' day. The green and gold have won their last 4 Labor Day meetings. They come off a win over the Saskatchewan Roughriders and head south to Calgary looking for a 5th straight victory.
The Stampeders have lost 6 straight, and Marcus Crandall's been out for all but one of those games.
Well, I tell you what, first off, you look at Ricky Ray. Let's talk about the guy, as you say, who has been on fire. 20 touchdowns already in 10 games, only 5 interceptions. You know what? He was under a little bit of that weight on his shoulders. A 2-quarterback system. You know what? I don't care what Coach Higgins says. When you're on fire, Ricky Ray, you're always going to be number 1.
And a 72% pass efficiency rating in the last 4 games. Marcus Crandall, rough start in his return in Winnipeg last week.
Yeah, but rough start, but I like the move. The fact is, he got some game experience. He came back. He missed a few games with the hamstring. He's back. The second half, he looked pretty sharp. Threw for 2 touchdowns. I think that's what he wants. He needs that confidence to be playing against this great Eskimo defense.
Former Eskimo and a former Grey Cup MVP. Now, the game within the game, or the rivalry within the rivalry, may be the running backs today. Lawrence Phillips against Mike Pringle, and it was Phillips that took Pringle's job last year.
Well, Lawrence took Mike's job, as you say, but I tell you what, one of the things you got to like about Mike Pringle right now, here's a guy they thought was washed up. Too old to play the game, not as effective. He won't get you that. Right now, last week, he averaged 7.2 yards a carry. That's the highest this year for him. He can get the job done. He's got 400-yard plus rushing games. I mean, and he also is a weapon out of the backfield.
And Lawrence Phillips wants the kind of workload that Mike Pringle's
Well, that's exactly what he wants. He says 9 carries is not going to do it. He says, if you want this offense to be successful, we've got to run the football. I need to touch the ball more.
All right, panel boy, how about your Canadian Tire game notes?
Panel boy. Well, I tell you what, first off, come on. For Edmonton, you got to get off to a good start. Why? Take the crowd out of it. Create some doubt in the Calgary Stampeders' mind. Make them think, oh no, here we go again. On defense, you know what? You got to keep Crandall caged. And what I mean by that is, you know what? He's only 85% healed in the hamstring, but if he takes off, he can't hurt you running the football. On the other side of the coin for Calgary on offense, you got to rev up the running game. You know what? You've got to get going on the running game. The 2 victories, 151 yards. The 6 losses they've just had, only 70 yards rushing a game. That's simple. And on defense, create turnovers. You know what? No interceptions since July 11th. They've only got 3 interceptions. Create turnovers. Help out your offense.
Game notes brought to you by Canadian Tire. Let's get started.
Win or lose in this Battle of Alberta, the weather will not be a problem. In a word, it's absolutely perfect. My only concern as a coach is the smell from the tailgate parties, hot dogs, hamburgers, and steaks. I'm hungry, guys.
Don't get Walby going. Well, it is a beautiful afternoon. Full house in the foothills as the Alberta rivals renew hostilities. This game steeped in history and bad blood. There's Tom Higgins, 2-0 on Labor Day. A fly past to kick things off here at McMahon Stadium. So Tom Higgins trying to win his 3rd straight on Labor Day. Jim Barker experiencing his first Labor Day Classic. When he took the job, they said, don't worry about your record as long as you win Labor Day. At 2-8, he'll take that deal now.
Well, definitely. He wants to turn his fortune, especially after the debacle going against Winnipeg last week, 52-17. Not happy with that. Figures, you know, he's had a good week. Marcus Crandall's taken all the reps in practice, and that's going to be big for this offense.
Duncan O'Mahony kicks it off. And the Labor Day Classic is underway. Robert Grant lets the ball bounce out of bounds And the Eskimos will have an option of another kickoff or taking the ball at the 45.
Well, the big men are coming on the field. Anytime those big offensive linemen walk on the field, it isn't a return kick. So obviously going to take the ball and start, as you say, at the 45-yard line.
There's Ricky Ray. You see the numbers. He was brilliant against Saskatchewan. 2 300-yard games so far this year, and the other was in week 2 against Calgary.
Well, he get the job done, as you say, Chris, but the biggest thing right now is he's got so much confidence, and it all stems from those boys up front. The offensive line have really allowed him to get into a rhythm.
And remember, we saw him go deep with a little more regularity last week against the Rough Riders. First down, and Ray goes to the air on the first play. Jason Bray in coverage, but Mr. Labor Day, Terry Vaughn, has the catch. Vaughn 8-0 on Labor Day. 4 wins with Calgary, 4 wins with Edmonton.
Well, let's take a look at this offense. Pringle, Ray, Troy Mills, watch him today. He might be a big factor in today's game. Hervey, Tucker, Vaughn, Robinson, again at the wide receiver spot. And a really good offensive line. Great performance last week. Beaton, Comiskey, Princeton, Lefstrud, and Chris Morris at right tackle.
Viking Alberta native Kevin Lefstrud playing in his first Alberta Labor Day Classic. Gain of 4 for Vaughn, so 2nd and 6. And a flag down as the pass falls incomplete. Likely a holding penalty against the Eskimos.
Good eyes, Chris. The referee throw the flag. You move right up to the line.
Holding. Edmonton 62. Penalties declined. 3rd down.
Dave Ewell in charge.
Bruce Beaton with the call. 12-year veteran. 6-time All-Star getting the hold. Just at the bottom of your screen trying to run the defender. Antoine Young by the pocket.
And so Sean Fleming is in for Edmonton, and Wayne McGarity, the explosive punt returner for Calgary, drops inside his 10. Angling punt, and McGarity takes it at the 10 and is pushed out near the 18-yard line. 51-yard punt by Sean Fleming.
What an excellent punt to pin them deep and allow us to cover guys to get down there and not allow the ever-explosive McGarity get any type of opening to break that one.
Well, unlike last week when Crandall returned, he took all the reps for the Stampeders this week. Last week, he really only had 1 full day of practice, and he now says he's at about 85%.
Well, even then, even that one day, Chris, he split the reps with Federic as well.
So the Stamps go to work. Twin tight end formation. And the give to Phillips as they try to establish a running game early. And Lawrence Phillips is tackled by Singer Mobley after a gain of close to 5.
Well, you have got to get this guy involved in your offense. You take a look at the lineups right now. Randall, there's Phillips, the man who just carried the ball in that last play. They'll line up 5 receivers. Rochelle, McGarity, Blair, Hunden, Andre Arline at the wide receiver spot. And offensive line, take a little bit of heat. Morley getting his 3rd start. McNeil, Crysdale, Singh, and Pilon at tackle.
No Darnell McDonald, 4th in the CFL in receptions. 2nd down, 5. They try to set up the screen, and it's incomplete. Lawrence Phillips, the intended receiver. And Dorian Boos picked him up coming out of the backfield.
Well, nice job of recognition by 91 Dorian Boos. You see Kenny Charbonneau Boos at the tackle spot. Raheem Abdullah playing the rush end. Linebackers Mobley, A.J. Gass with his 2nd start in the middle. Robert Grant, a strong side linebacker. Frank Garrett, Coleman, Brady, and Crutchfield are your secondary.
And the Eskimos now are the #1 ranked passing defense in the CFL. So a 2 and out for the Stampeders. Duncan O'Mahony is into the game with a 50.8 average on Labor Day, and a timeout has been called. Tom Higgins wanted to confer.
Walk tall and in comfort with Calgary made Alberta boots. Alberta Boot Company. Proud supporters.
You know, Chris, you wonder if he's not instructing these guys to watch out for all the trick plays right now, because when you're on the back end of a 6-game losing streak for Calgary, pull out every trick.
Well, we saw some trick plays in the earlier game, and Montreal-Ottawa, Don Matthews had a few up his sleeve. Dupuis with the snap into the hands of O'Mani. Winston October is his 38. Flag down, no yards will be the call. Laterio Rochelle was down just a step too quickly after the 48-yard O'Mani punt.
48 yards on the kick for Duncan O'Mani.
Well, Rochelle getting down there, as you say, a step too quick, but not going to take a chance and allow Winston October to get to the wide side of the field.
Calgary 95. First down.
Where they had attempted to set up a wall.
We'll take a break early first quarter and scoreless at McMahon. There's center Jamie Crysdale, the Iron Man of that offensive line for the Stampeders, his 180th consecutive game.
And there's a guy on the other side, though, Leo Groenewegen, who has also played that role of a Iron Man with 252 games consecutive. I love when they say a non-kicker.
Well, you see the Stamps own the Eskimos until recently. The last 4 years, it's been Edmonton's game here at McMahon. And a guy, again, who was on the winning side for 8 straight in his 9th Labor Day Classic. Terry Vaughn has his second catch.
Well, Terry Vaughn just getting behind, dragging behind the dropping middle linebacker, Willie Fells, who's playing in place of Alondra Johnson. Straight down the field, just going to catch that ball right in front of the starting safety, Wes Lysek. But again, Terry Vaughn, great hands. Once again, Ricky Ray moving this football club.
3-time All-Canadian, came into the game 143 yards short of his 9th straight 1,000-yard game. Here's Mike Pringle in his first carry on Labor Day in Alberta, down to the 35 and stopped by number 35, Otis Floyd.
Otis Floyd hanging on for dear life because the legs were churning on Mike Pringle. Let's take a look at this defense. Under the gun a little bit. Young Napastic getting the start at tackle. Maxie Fleming, who will play outside and inside, starting at rush end. White, Willie Fells in the middle. Otis Floyd, who made the play at linebacker. Sanchez, Brave, Boise, Melvo, and Fields round out your secondary.
2nd and 4, no Alondra Johnson. Mike Pringle stopped at the line of scrimmage. There's Sheldon Napastic, the native of North Battleford, Saskatchewan, originally an Eskimo draft choice, who made the stop.
Well, Sheldon Napastic, one of the strongest guys in the league. I mean, he can make a difference inside at the defensive tackle position. And what they want to do out of your tackles is not only make the play like he does on this, tackling the running back, Mike Pringle, but also, if you're not, take 2 blockers. Take 2 of the offensive line and let Willie Fells, the middle linebacker, make plays. Keep your linemen off your linebackers and allow them to be successful.
So a 42-yard field goal attempt for Sean Fleming, who's missed 3 of his last 8. And he tucks that around the upright and has missed 4 of his last 9. And away goes Wade McGarity. McGarity, he'll outrun Jason Moss. And he should go all the way. A little early Labor Day lightning from Wayne McGarity. ...127 yards. He's returned 2 punts for touchdowns this year, and now a 3rd kick return score.
What is the thing what happens? One of the biggest concerns of any kicking team when you're attempting a field goal, it's been said 100 times before, is you got big blockers and they're not the best covered guys, and they don't remember to stay in their lanes, and that's what you have to do when you're covering, whether it's a punt or a field goal, because if it goes missed like it did on this one, McGarity gets a little opening and he'll bust it up as he does. It takes it 127 yards to Pater.
Extra points through, a near miss by Fleming results in a Calgary opening touchdown. Well, Sean Fleming is heated up. He thought he made the field goal, and we'll take another look at...
Well, when you take a look, it's going. Now, it looks like it's wide, and then it's going to end up, as it starts to break inside, Now when you look at it right there, take a look. It looks like it's inside, but actually what it's really doing, when it's inside, it's behind the post already. That's why the referee signaled wide.
But you can see from Fleming's reaction, he was celebrating. And then Wayne McGarity took off. Officially, 126 yards. It's the longest touchdown in the CFL this year, eclipsing the Demetrius Bendros touchdown romp of 123 yards. But Wayne McGarity has been the most exciting weapon in the Calgary Stampeders arsenal all year.
Oh, you talk about offense and defense. You need to get that third factor involved, and right there, Calgary got the special teams involved.
And on the kickoff, Winston October back for the Eskimos, and he's nailed as he crossed the 30-yard line. Laterio Rochelle thought he came up with the football after the 17-yard October return. So the 2-8 Stamps, who said they are putting all the off-field problems behind them, have come out firing here.
Well, that's what they have to do. They can't worry about anything. They can't worry about being, Laterio being on the sideline or talking to players. Just do your job. Go out there, do whatever you can to contribute, help your team get a victory.
A little confusion on defense as a late substitution is about to be called. And out of the backfield, Mike Pringle with the catch. Otis Floyd the stop. And for some reason, there was confusion on the defensive alignment. And William Fields came onto the field quite late for Calgary.
Well, they're going to call too many men or illegal substitution. As you say, by the fact that he came on the field late.
As the ball was being
substitution,
snapped.
Calgary 29, first down.
Of course, Fields is the starting corner. He replaces Anthony Pryor, who was released after the 52-17 loss to Winnipeg last week.
You can see him right there. He just kind of trying to hop on and gets pulled off, and another guy runs on, and legal substitution.
Originally, Sam Young was out. He is in his first game. What's the call? And is the nickel back. So first down, and Ray sets up, and that ball knocked down, nearly picked by the middle linebacker, Willie Fells.
Well, Willie Fells, who does a nice job of getting the drop from the middle linebacking position. He's got good speed. He gets good depth on this pattern, sees Ricky Ray trying once again to go over the middle. This time he breaks on the football. And Willie Fells should have came up with this interception. And again, Chris, this is a situation where the defense, with only 3 interceptions, this is one that should have came back. You see Ron just sitting in the hole right there.
Haven't had an interception in 6 weeks. They are last in takeaways in the CFL. 2nd and 10. Ray with another chance, this time open receiver. And Terry Vaughn looks like he's going to have another terrific afternoon already. His 3rd catch and number 60 on the year to lead CFL receivers.
Well, they bring the blitz this time, the Stampeders do. It gets picked up, allows Ricky Ray to look downfield. They're going to run loop, Joe Fleming around. But because they're bringing that linebacker from that side, Jordan White, as a result, there's an opening. Terry Vaughn, smart receiver, finds the hole. Ricky Ray gets him the football, and again, a first down.
First attempt, Calgary 46.
22-yard gain, sets up Edmonton at the 46. They fake to Pringle and then ditch it to Pringle, who drops the ball. Takes a late hit from Davis Sanchez, and come on, boys, it's Labor Day, and they're going to call a penalty.
You can't call this. I mean, come on, you're wearing equipment. You know, this is, I got to admit, I'm a little disappointed with this call myself. Let them play football. Nobody was hit hard.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Calgary number 2. First down.
I mean, first off, Davis Sanchez weighs like 180 pounds. He's not going to hurt anybody.
Just a couple of old Montreal Alouette teammates renewing
that's all it was, Chris. I tell you what, I'm disappointed when you get those kind of calls. And that allows Edmonton to move closer and at least put himself in field goal range now.
First attempt,
For the Eskimos now, first down at the 31. Pringle, the lone setback. And they swing it to Pringle, and he's nailed by Anthony Malbrough. Well, we saw Pringle utilized as a receiver more last week. And Malbrough read the play beautifully.
Well, he saw this. They were just going to slide it out to the flats. Now Pringle's trying to adjust to the football. And as a result, his body's not facing north-south, but east-west. And that allows Malbrough to come over and lay the shoulder pad right between the numbers and knock Mike Pringle down.
And you can bet Pringle took that number, and he might get to return the favor later. Second down, Ray in trouble, escapes, and now takes off. Ricky Ray makes something out of nothing. He'll be short of the first down, but he should have been nailed back near the 50.
Well, Joe Fleming came through, tried to wrap him up at the ankles. Ricky Ray showing a little bit of strength on the play, shakes him off and scampers downfield. Just going to loop around, come inside the middle from the outside end position. Now he tries to grab him. Ricky Ray, a little bit of strength right there, shrugs him off and then tucks the ball. And he's not sliding, Chris. He's leading with the head.
Comes up a yard and a half short of the first down, so Fleming back in. This will be a 30-yard attempt. And Fleming puts that through. So Sean Fleming 1 for 2, and his field goals have resulted in points for either side. Stampeders with a 7-3 lead.
Sometimes it's like that, I know.
Well, don't forget to log on to our CFL on CBC website. You can play the head-to-head pool and match wits and pick the games. There was an 8-point favorite for the Eskimos in this game. Right now, the Stampeders with the early edge as Marcus Crandall fakes to Phillips and goes up top looking for Kamau Peterson in his second game as he returns to the Stampeder lineup.
Kamau came back, as you say, last week. We'll wait for the flag to get figured out. Only 2 catches, but really with McDonald, you really feel.
Roughing the passer, Edmonton 90, first down.
Well, Abdullah with the roughing penalty. They really want to get somebody to pick up the slack of McDonald, and they're really looking at Kamau Peterson to be the guy.
Well, terrific last year. Peterson second among Canadian receivers in the league. And there's the infraction on Marcus Crandall.
Well, we can understand that one. It was well after the ball was thrown.
So first down at the Calgary 50. Crandall gets it away. James Hunden, who started the year in Toronto, has the catch near midfield. Crutchfield and Donnie Brady converging on the veteran receiver. 4 years as Cincinnati Bengal in his 9th pro season.
A nice job of Crandall getting the ball out to Hunden to get that completion as he was under extreme pressure. Once again from Raheem Abdullah, who does a nice inside move on the right tackle, Jeff Pilon.
So 5 for Hunden, and 2nd and 5. From midfield, Crandall, Phillips, well read, and defense by the Eskimos, and that's Donnie Brady stepping up to meet Phillips behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, Donnie Brady doing a little bit of what we like to call the spy technique. As soon as the back flares out, in this instance, Lawrence Phillips, Donnie Brady comes up and scouts him. He's just going to watch. Sees number 6 slide out. He falls off his man. He comes up and nice sure tackle. Wraps up the legs, waits for the rest of his teammates to secure it, and forces a punting situation.
So Manny checks back in with under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Winston October lets it go, and it will bounce into the end zone. And a flag will be thrown as the Stampeders do not give 5 yards, but it looks like they will take the 58-yard single point.
59-yarder for Duncan O'Malley.
They can decline it and take it on the 35. Not it comes up.
Dave Ewell going over the options.
No yards. Calgary 45. Penalties declined. Single point.
Eskimos do opt to concede the single point. We talked to Terry Vaughn, a guy who has the magic formula for winning on Labor Day, about what it will take to win today.
Don't turn the ball over. You know, don't give them any help whatsoever. You know, make them earn everything. You know, like I said, offensively, they're not putting a whole lot of points up on the board, and we are. So we don't want to give them any help, no push at all. You know, we want to destroy them. You know, I mean, that's our whole mind frame. We really want to go out here and embarrass these guys.
Well, so far that has not happened. The Stamps have strapped it up tight today, and George White with a sack on Ricky Ray.
And this is exactly what you want to do. You want to disguise or show the offense one thing. He's lined up here, and he's going to roll around and come all the way around. The offensive line, they can't slide that now or switch the men off to get to the outside guy. Now it's the responsibility of the center, who he initially lined up over, to try and slide out. He couldn't do that, and as a result, Ricky Ray is sacked.
Third quarterback sack for White, who had 209 tackles in his first 2 years as an All-Canadian in Saskatchewan. Second down, and a pass over the middle is caught. Davis Sanchez with the tackle on Jason Tucker, who has been a Stampeder killer in his last 2 starts against the Stamps.
As you say, Chris, the last time he played, 8 catches, 171 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. But once again, just coming across the middle, good protection by the offensive line. He puts the cover guy, the defensive back, William Fields, in a chase position. He can't catch Jason Tucker. Offensive line with a nice job of chopping Joe Fleming, not allowing him to get to Ricky Ray.
Mike Pringle chipping in. And an 18-yard pickup for Tucker. Ray, delayed handoff, and Mike Pringle rambling into the secondary and down to the 44. Jason Ray finally pulled him down.
Well, just a good old-fashioned draw play. Let the defensive lineman think it's a pass, slide it into your running back's hands, and let him find the hole, and Mike Pringle does just that. Scampers up there, and you can see the legs moving. Always trying to pick up additional yardage.
8th carry of 20 yards or better on the season for Pringle. 23 on that romp. And now Ray looked Pringle's way, then finds Vaughn. And Terry Vaughn, always tough to bring down, is finally smothered at the 25.
As you say, what a look-off by Ricky Ray to look to the right side of the football field, frees everybody on the backside. Terry Vaughn still working, just going to find a little opening in front of Davis Sanchez. Sanchez giving a little bit of a cushion. That allows Terry Vaughn to sit down, come back into the middle, make that play. But initially a great job of looking off the secondary by Ricky Ray.
19 for Vaughn, 2 catches shy of George McGowan on the all-time Eskimo list. Ray throwing, and up with a catch, Ed Hervey at the 12-yard line. And the Eskimos like to get the ball into the hands of Vaughn and Hervey as early as possible.
Well, take a look already. Right now we've got Hervey. Tucker's made a couple catches. We've seen Terry Vaughn. You know he's always going to catch the football. But again, what you got to like about this play, it's a roll to the right. The line's going to slide to the right, and he's going to throw back against the grain where he knows he's got one-on-one coverage and gets Ed Hervey.
So all the weapons being deployed right now for the Eskimos as they threaten to take the lead. Here's the shovel pass, Troy Mills, well read, and stopped behind the line of scrimmage by Willie Fells.
For this play to work, you have to get Willie Fells out of the equation. They had the initial part. Antoine Young is going to rush the quarterback. That's what you want. You want your end to come around. But Willie Fells right there, he does a nice job of reading it, staying back, not getting caught up in the wash or the turmoil of all the offense and defensive linemen. That allows him to skate to make that play when he does shovel pass it to Pringle.
7th play of the drive for the Eskimos. There's Ray over the middle, and Quincy Jackson returning to the Eskimo lineup, picked up from Saskatchewan as a huge catch near the goal line.
Well, Quincy Jackson with his first catch as an Eskimo, says, you know what, I think that I can get back to where I was when I first started my career with Edmonton, and makes an impact early on in this quarter.
So the Eskimos are knocking at the door as the opening quarter comes to an end here at McMahon Stadium on Labor Day. Stampeder lead a precarious one, and the first quarter stats leaning very clearly in the Eskimos' favor.
Well, you look at 8 first downs to 1 first down, time of possession obviously favoring 11 and a half, almost 12 minutes to 3. Obviously the only reason that Calgary is even in this game or leading this game is the 126-yard field goal return, missed one by Wayne McGarity.
And the only first down for Calgary came by a penalty. Quincy Jackson's catch has set the Eskimos up first and goal from the 1, and that's Mike Pringle territory, and Pringle, no indication, got near that line, but
I don't think he made it. I think that was a great job of coming up. Mike Pringle trying to do second effort to try and lean into the end zone, break the plane if you would. The Stampeders wrap him up. Goes down. Now watch, he tries to lean back. He's going to try and get one more time in there, but the only thing that crosses is the hand without the football.
Yeah, Garrett Smith did a good job to prevent the touchdown, but they've got another crack or two to get it in. This time Ray himself, and he's in for the score. Ricky Ray has his first touchdown of the year.
Well, Ricky Ray decided, you know what, rather than hand it off, I'll just do it myself and tuck behind the big offensive linemen, Princeton, Comiskey, and Lefsrud. Let them do the work. I'll tuck my helmet behind him, and crosses the goal line, as you say, with his first rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, the Eskimos talked yesterday about putting together long drives to demoralize the Calgary defense, and that was 10 plays, 75 yards. Fleming adds the extra point, and Edmonton has the lead 10-8.
But again, the biggest thing right now, Chris, is the way that Ricky Ray is utilizing all his weapons. He's not just sticking with Vaughn. I mean, he's used Hervey, he's gone to Tucker, he's got the newcomer, Quincy Jackson, involved. I mean, that makes it even tougher for the secondary because they don't know where the ball, they can't get any kind of, a read on where he likes to throw the football.
Especially if you see Sanchez off on 8-8 sneak, because you got to try and bubble all the way.
Yeah. They're not going to bound you. No.
He's playing with the swagger we saw last year, and I use the word loosely because he's not the cocky type, but his play is very confident as it was a year ago.
But you know what, we talked to him last week when we watched him against Saskatchewan. We said, the biggest thing that has, I know that Tom Higgins, Coach Higgins, likes his 2-quarterback system, but he says, you know what, I don't like it. He just says right out point blank, I don't like the 2-quarterback system. But I also understand if I'm not doing the job, somebody else will be in there. But the fact is, he's on fire. Their offense is firing on all cylinders right now.
So many weapons at Tom Higgins' disposal. And now a 2-point lead, and Calgary's going to have to get their offense going. This is James Hunden. Straight up the field, hard runner. Over the 30-yard line as we dissect the Edmonton scoring drive engineered by Ricky Ray.
Well, Ricky Ray, lots of time distributing the football. You can see Quincy Jackson, a little slant pattern, and he finishes it off himself just with the quarterback keeper, the sneak, behind the big offensive line.
Well, he talked about being able to have the luxury of working his way through adversity, something he didn't feel he had early in the season with Bart Hendricks waiting in the wings. Now Marcus Crandall hands the ball off, and Lawrence Phillips works his way up to the 37-yard line. Phillips calling for the ball more. He says, I need the ball more than 8 or 9 times
well, he
a
said
game.
9 times, that does nothing. All it does is you don't even get a defense off balance with that. When you figure you're running 60 to 70 plays offensively a football game, and you're only going to hand off 9, I mean, the odds are, majority of the time, 90% of the time, you're throwing the football, and that's what the defense will think.
Phillips was 6 on that carry. broke his left hand on Canada Day against Ottawa. And Phillips buried there. Kelvin Kinney with the stop. And again, the Stampeders have not been able to generate a first down on their own.
The reason the play was stopped is because the running back, Lawrence Phillips, had to freeze both his feet because the hole wasn't there. He gets the ball, it's a little draw play. Now he freezes. See, he tries to cut back. There's no hole. There's penetration by the defensive line. That forces Phillips just to stop on his tracks and allows them to wrap him up before he can even pick up a yard and force again, once again, another punting situation.
So Omani back in. There's Winston October. And the Eskimo defense almost pitching a shutout here so far. And Omani got roughed up by Booth, so this will be another Calgary first down as October goes for a run for naught. And he pays the price. Scott Dybert and Otis Floyd downfield hard.
Nice job of covering on that play and making the returner pay for it.
Contacting the kicker, Edmonton 91. First down.
But as you see, Dorian Booth is just going to come up the middle. He always lines up on the snapper or the center. Just gets on the shoulder and he's going to come in. The ball's gone. Now he tries to go to the block point. Accidentally tries to stop his momentum. Momentum carries him into Omani, who does a nice job of doing what all kickers should do. Fall down and hope for the flag.
Booth had that 300 pounds leaning a little too far over. And
there's no way to stop that. That's gravity.
Gravity took over and the flag was thrown. So a second first down for Calgary, both by penalty marker. This time they fake to Phillips, and Crandall looking downfield, and he has a catch. And it's Wayne McGarity with his second big play of the day.
Nice job of utilizing the play action pass to freeze the secondary for a second. The linebackers step up, expecting Lawrence Phillips to get it. That allows McGarity to get behind. A little inside-outside move against Donnie Brady. This is a long developing play. Buys him that extra time for Marcus Crandall to go deep. Nicely thrown football. Great concentration by Wayne McGarity. If he's the only one that's going to get it done, well, that's the guy you got to utilize.
Third in all-purpose yards in the league behind Charles Roberts, Demetrius Bendros. He already has 162 today. Phillips pounding down inside the 25.
Well, so far, every time they've tried to run Lawrence Phillips, it's between the tackles. And I know that he's got great explosive speed once he gets to the outside. I'm almost anticipating or wondering why they don't try a little toss action to get him outside, where he might be in a little bit more of a one-on-one situation, has the ability to try and make somebody miss the tackle.
See, that time Charbonneau filled the hole quickly, and there was nowhere for Phillips to go.
Gap control defense by the Eskimos.
Got 3, 2nd and 7. Here's the blitz. Crandall got it away, and the ball dropped by Andre Arlane.
Andre Arlane, who doesn't see a lot of pigskins coming at him with only 6 catches on the year. You got to have this catch, though. This is a drive killer. Marcus Crandall is happy because, you know what? A great job of him recognizing where to throw the football. He puts it right on the money, but number 88, you got to come up with that catch. Marcus displaying a little displeasure with that.
And they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt that will restore a Calgary lead. Mark McLaughlin, the all-time leading Stampeder point getter, playing in his final game from all reports. And a 31-yarder is good. McLaughlin rumored to be the next president of this team. And he puts his club up by a point. Canada at the BMO Nations Cup this Saturday. Here's Winston October, and he is tossed down by Terrence Carroll at the 35-yard line, a 15-yard return. And the Stamps back on top. The field goal after the Dorian Booth penalty for contacting the kicker.
Well, and that's what they had to do. The fact is, as you say, it gave them their second first down. Then they started moving the football a little bit. But again, we talked about what plagues or what are the things that drive coaches crazy. And obviously, when you have a receiver, Andre Arlane, dropping a ball that would have kept the drive alive and allowed them to possibly go for a touchdown. You have to have these plays to be successful on offense.
Eskimos have put points on the board on their last 2 possessions, a field goal and a touchdown, and Ricky Ray out of the backfield, Mike Pringle, and he's tossed out at the Eskimo bench near the 50.
Taken out by Calgary's number 35.
And that's why Ricky Ray is so dangerous right now. And the fact is he recognizes, he gets a pre-snap read on the defense, sees that it's a zone defense. The linebackers are all going to drop back. That allows him time. He sets up. Release valve is Mike Pringle in the flat. He gets him the football, and by the time Otis Floyd and Sanchez take him out, they've picked up a first down.
Mike Pringle with 10 catches in the last 2 weeks, and he has a pair of receptions in this first half. Ray flushed from the pocket and nailed as he crossed the line of scrimmage well behind the play. A flag has just gone down as there was an altercation involving William Fields, and Ricky Ray is slow to get up. He was hammered by Sheldon Napastuk and Otis Floyd, and this has to be a cause for concern as Bart Hendricks starts to warm up.
And even though we're early in the second quarter, we've seen a lot of real physical hits so far in this game, Chris, where a lot of helmets have really been laying it on between the numbers of the victims, as we say, and there's another victim right there, Ricky Ray, and we can only hope that it's nothing too serious.
Edmonton 81.
It almost looks like Napastuk landed on him, and as he landed on him, may have taken the wind out of him. Knocked the wind out of him, if you would.
And I mentioned about 50 yards away downfield, there was an altercation. Ed Hervey gets an unnecessary roughness penalty. But right now the concern is for the Eskimos' #1 signal caller.
Well, especially the way he's been playing. I mean, this is a situation where he's made such great decisions on the football field. Doesn't force anything, as you say, only 5 interceptions. Reads the football field so well, knows when to dump it off to the release valve. He's been using Mike Pringle not only as a running back, but also as a receiver out of the backfield, and he's been distributing the ball to all of his receivers.
They continue to work on Ricky Ray. Bart Hendricks is set to come on. We'll take a timeout.
Our staff is all set to outfit you in the latest and greatest.
Well, Ricky Ray sitting up now, looks a little woozy after the punishing hit. 11-10 the score, 10-10 remaining first half.
Well, we thought they may have got the wind knocked out of him, but as you watch from that replay as well, they were checking the rib area on both sides, checking for tenderness and breathing.
Now quarterback for the Eskimos.
And so it is Jason Moss and not Bart Hendricks. And this is a bit of a surprise, as Moss, who loves to go deep, lets fly, and Jason Tucker drops one he should have had. Well, yesterday when I asked Tom Higgins about Jason Moss, he smiled and said he has not taken one offensive rep in practice all year. He has been on the scout team. He's been Dave Dickinson or Anthony Calvillo, but he did elect to go to Moss instead of Hendricks.
I was just as surprised here. I'm not going to pretend that obviously we expected to see Bart Hendricks in, but we talked about the fact that one of the things, if you look up the resume of Jason Moss, is he loves to go deep, stretch the defense. He does it first snap.
Third down, and Fleming punts the ball away. And this will go out of bounds. And we'll wait to see where this is spotted. They don't want to put it in McGarrity's hands.
Little flag downfield as well.
And they are going to rule it a 37-yard punt. And we'll wait for the ruling on that penalty marker. And it looks like it's going against Calgary.
Holding, Calgary number 30. First down.
Former Eskimo, Charles Asman, was called on the play. And with less than 9.5 minutes to go in this first half, it's 11-10 Stampeders.
All right, Stampeders fans, now time for the...
Season's tickets are now on sale. Catch all your Stampeder action just over $12 a game.
There's Ricky Ray loosening up on the sidelines after the hit. Let's get an update from Steve.
Chris, what they did was they checked the ribs of Ricky Ray. They had him sit on the bench. They were having him inhale, exhale, and then he got up and jumped around a bit, and now he's up throwing. He's got the helmet back on. He is going back in. I think he had the wind knocked out of him.
That's good news. Twin tight ends, and now Crandall deep. McGarity again. Wayne McGarity got in behind Donnie Brady. And his third monster play of the first half.
Maximum protection. They recognize they're going to have Crandall has to get a little bit more time. They bring in a double tight end system. You can see a tight end Diebert. There's Reginbold on the right side. They release as they can play in the tight end position, but that allows the extra time for McGarity to come back into the middle of the football field. Get away for the cover man, Donnie Brady, and again, a big play, Crandall to McGarity.
51 yards on that catch, which matches his season's best. And now the pitch to Phillips, trying to get him outside. Ducks underneath to the 28. Dorian Boost there again.
You have to attack the outside of the defense. You have to force the defense to chase, to widen out. If you want to run the ball successfully inside, you've got to get them to spread out on that defensive line. That's why it's good to attack the sides of that defense.
Got a glimpse of the big rookie, Steve Morley, the left tackle, the #1 pick in the CFL Canadian Draft. A.J. Gass, the middle linebacker for the Eskimos. 2nd and 8, Crandall, open man, and a catch for a first down to James Hunden at the 13.
James Hunden backside. Marcus Crandall starting to get a little rhythm right now. Getting some protection, a little confidence right there. Hunden just going to come working against Crutchfield. Crutchfield playing a little off of him, allowing Hunden to come back into the middle of the football field by the hash marks. Crandall has got some nice protection from this offensive line right now. Time to connect with him.
And so Crandall now 5 for 7 in the game, 107 yards. Stampeders threatening 1st and 10. And Crandall looks to the end zone. Donnie Blair, touchdown! What a catch! Play that can ignite a team.
Well, you know what? We have to give due where due is done, and right now, I'll tell you right there, we have been on Donnie Blair. No touchdown since July 19th. He did have his best game of the year, though, Chris. The last time he played against Edmonton with a touchdown, 6 catches for 107 yards. But we've seen him drop a number of balls in previous games. This was a great, great reception, great concentration. Finding the football, going up and leaving his feet and coming down with the catch.
Former Eskimo on the highlight reel. Last Labor Day, 9 catches, 163 yards for Donnie Blair, but I don't know if any were as sweet as that touchdown grab.
No, it was a beautiful job of getting back. And you know, the interesting thing on that, Chris, was that he was working against their #1 cover guy, Shannon Garrett, right there. That's the guy they put on all the top receivers because he shuts them down. Boy, I tell you what, if you want to ever deliver a statement, that's the guy you do it with. Just go after him. If you're successful, that should lift your entire team. But what a great catch by Donnie Blair.
First catch of the game, an 8-point Calgary lead. And Robert Grant former running back turned linebacker. And a red wave meets him as he crossed the 30-yard line. Let's take another look at the Donnie Blair catch.
Well, the biggest thing I got to tell you right here, there's an important guy. Look at Lawrence Phillips, and up here, this is Mobley. He's going to come, and he picks him up. This allows your quarterback to know he's going to have some time to throw the football. And all Donnie Blair is going to do is come right in the center of your screen, get some separation from Shannon Garrett, leave his feet, go up, and make a beautiful catch. Great concentration. And the entire Calgary team ran out. And that tells you they're into this football game.
Ricky Ray back to work and looking deep downfield, looking for Hervey, and Kelly Malbo was in his pocket.
Ricky Ray, number 15, back at quarterback, throws it up there.
And Davis Sanchez there as well.
That's a good job of the referee not throwing the flag when two players, the defender and the receiver, going up for the football, both attempting to play that football. Kelly Malvo not interfering with him, but then just trying to come over, get his hands on that ball.
In secondary, he's been shredded for 3 consecutive 300-yard games, but then again, they faced Dave Dickinson twice, Kahari Jones, and now Ricky Ray, so they've had their hands full. 2nd and 10. Here comes Fleming. Ray's got to run for his life, and now throws it into the Calgary bench. Jim Daly, defensive coordinator, likes what he sees as he's got him revved up on that red sideline.
He's got him revved up, and all they're doing is they're running twists up front. Nothing is one-on-one with that lineman. They're going to bring the inside tackles, loop them around to the outside, try and get the offensive lineman on different levels. You're going to see them wrapping around. Joe Fleming coming back inside. Demetrius Maxey trying to get to the outside. And a nice job of Otis Floyd, who you won't see until late right there. Seeing the play, or George White, seeing the play, recognizing it, and then coming up to force Ricky Ray to throw that football away.
So an early strike by Calgary, then Eskimo momentum, and now it's turned right back in the Stampeders' favor. And a time count violation charged against Edmonton.
Still 3rd down.
As they had the wrong alignment on the field. And now Donnie Brady comes on late to join the cover team for Edmonton.
27. Never mind 44.
Wayne McGarity is back, and he already has 213 all-purpose yards in this game. At the 31, no yards. As Brady, first man downfield, was in too tight. 52-yard punt. And 5 on the return, pending that marker. A couple of penalty markers to sort out.
Well, one definitely for the no yards, as you say, right at the point of the catch by McGarity. Donnie Brady was the culprit on that play.
No yards. Edmonton 26. Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary, 1st down.
Well, we did not get a number.
Hey, Stampeder fans, stay tuned. Our halftime show.
Calgary player Jim Barker wants to know.
Doc Walker.
So those penalties cancel out, and it's a 1st down for the Stampeders at their own 31. And now 3 receivers go right again out of that twin tight end formation. Lawrence Phillips weak side, and he finds some room there up to the 40, and now Jay McNeil wants a piece of Raheem Abdullah.
Well, Jay McNeil's getting the football game. I mean, this is a team that's being down early in the 1st quarter in a number of games during the 6-game losing streak, and it's nice for them to have the lead. They're fired up, and they want to do a little talking. They haven't had much opportunity to kind of yap at anybody else.
And Phillips showing his athleticism at the sidelines. They missed Jay McNeil, All-Canadian, who's missed most of the 1st half. with a calf injury, shortened, second down. Crandall plunging, and a flag down on the play.
Well, flags thrown on both sides of the football field on the line of scrimmage, which usually indicates an offside by the defense. But we'll have to wait until they sort this one. And
almost looked like the Eskimos didn't give the 1 yard.
that's usually what happens. They try and cheat on that ball.
Offside. Edmonton 92. First down.
And it's Kelvin Kinney called. Well, coming up at halftime, the panel goes back to work to dissect the first half. Ryan Williams at the controls, the CBC playbook with Chris Walby at our history of excellence. It's been an interesting first half for a Labor Day Classic that didn't have quite the sizzle of past years.
We talked about that. Forget it. This is when the real season starts.
There's Phillips trying the right side, and then the cutback gets him 3 to 4 yards. The Stampeders believe that a win over their rival can get this team back on the right track because it's a better team on paper than 2-8.
Well, when you looked at this team, as you say, on paper, you would expect them to be up in the upper echelon of the league. Not where they are. Certainly not, enduring a 6-game losing streak. But again, it just shows you the importance of a quarterback.
They were 2-2 and leading the Alouettes in Montreal with Marcus Crandall looking razor sharp when he went down with a hamstring injury. Here he's got Kamau Peterson and a catch at the Edmonton 45, and Peterson certainly bolsters this team, one of the finest Canadian receivers in the CFL.
They found success. They know they're getting the one-on-one coverage by the corners of the outside cover guys. So the receivers are breaking it back into the middle of the football field again. Peterson takes a step, recognizes that Malcolm Frank's playing off of him, so he breaks it off into the middle, and Crandall finds him for a big completion.
Spent time in the camps of the New York Jets and Green Bay Packers. Phillips lunging ahead down to the 42. Glenn Young, the stop there for Edmonton.
Well, Glenn Young was up there. Robert Grant also up there. The linebackers. It's almost like they recognize the play before it happens, because every time they've attempted to run the ball with Lawrence Phillips, the linebackers are almost stacked on the line of scrimmage.
3 minutes remaining in the first half at McMahon.
So you want to be a lineman. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at the battles going on in the pit right now. Take a look at Abdullah working against Jeff Pilon, 64. Watch this. I mean, no love lost between these two guys. Good takedown. No flag, no foul.
Abdullah's become one of the best defensive ends in this league. So Pilon's got his hands full, and there is a knockdown by Singer Mobley, who told me yesterday that he thought there'd be a few of those knockdowns against Marcus Crandall today.
Yeah, Marcus has got a low trajectory when he releases the football just over the line of scrimmage. That allows Singer Mobley to get his hands up, and I think the biggest thing as he's running toward the end zone right now is he's frustrated because he really had an opportunity to come up with an interception.
Yes, and last year against Calgary he had 3 interceptions, 2 on Labor Day, and in 2 games against the Stampeders last year he was defensive player of the week.
He sealed the victory last Labor Day with that 54-yard interception off Marcus Crandall late in the 4th quarter.
So O'Mani punting it into the end zone, and October content to let it go out of the end zone for a 62-yard single. And the Stampeders widen their lead to 9.
A 62-yarder.
As Crandall confers with Scott Milanovich and his receiving core at the Calgary bench.
Well, you see Marcus talking to receivers. James Hunden, they're all getting on the same page. Obviously a different mood, Chris, on that sideline right now, being in the football game and playing as well as they really are. And a lot of that's got to go with the play of Marcus Crandall right now.
Well, they had nothing cooking in the first quarter. The only first down was by a penalty, but Crandall's heated up, and now Ricky Ray will try to respond. And he goes over the middle to Scott Robinson, the Maple Ridge, BC native, who had a touchdown catch last week against Saskatchewan.
And this is a good job of the linebacking crew, just dropping back into coverage, saying if you're going to throw the football, we'll let you throw it underneath and we'll come up and make the play. Willie Fells in the middle, Otis Floyd, they're going to drop back. Now Scott Robinson comes and makes the catch for 5 yards, but then the closure of the linebackers, Floyd and Fells, limits the gain to 5 yards.
Fells comes out of the game, the nickel back is in. Sam Young, 2nd and 5. Ray with time, downfield, Terry Vaughn, 5th catch of the half. And up in midfield, he'll move the chains and strut his stuff.
Well, he should strut his stuff. He should have peacock feathers out of the back of his pants because he's in full color here because what a nice job he does of freezing the defender. Little shake and bake, fake to the outside, totally freezes the defender, comes back inside, wide open. Ricky Ray getting good protection, nice throwing lane. Right over the middle, and Terry Vaughn with another catch.
68 yards from yet another 1,000-yard season. Ray, a lot of steamboats, and now Napastuk clutches him and tosses him down, and the pass falls incomplete.
Well, that's one of those situations, Chris, when I watch a defender Napastuk grab the quarterback, and you wonder about the whistle, because it's almost like he's in the grasp right now. Yet if he throws him down, sometimes they'll call a roughing the passer. Right there, he's got him pretty much.
Well, they say Napastuk has played beyond expectations, a free agent signing from Saskatchewan. And he went through Bruce Beaton to make that play.
Well, opportunity now, she's got to take the most of it.
2nd and 10. Ray, right down. Downfield, flag down, and a catch made. Jason Tucker climbed a ladder to pull it down. And what's the penalty marker?
Well, this is like sandlot football, and the fact that we got so many receivers. Tucker, Quincy Jackson, all together in a whole group of red shirts as well by the Stampeders. And Tucker comes up with the catch, but
Illegal contact on a receiver. Calgary 29. Penalties declined. 1st down.
William Fields with the infraction, but a whole mass of red humanity around the receivers.
Well, you wonder if Quincy Jackson just new to this Eskimo offense.
I mean, take a look and you can see both of them in the same situation or part of the football field. The object, folks, is to spread them out, not bring them together.
1st down. Eskimos. And a pass in the flat caught by Troy Mills. First time we've called his number today. The Eskimos thought that they might be able to get Mills out of the backfield today and get some success against Calgary.
Well, this is a situation where Jason Bray, number 11, is playing shallow. The linebacker, George White, who normally you would think would pick up the running back out of the backfield, plays deeper. He's going to come to the right side of your screen, and both of them miscommunicate, and that allows Mills to be wide open on the sideline.
14 yards, the play to Mills. It's a 1st down at the 17. Ray pumps, now looks into the end zone, and is it picked off by Otis Floyd? Yes, interception. Just the 4th of the year for the Stampeders.
Otis Floyd, wonderful job of staying step for step with the receiver, seeing where the football is, that the receiver in this instance has to turn to the defensive back, but he can't get the job done, and Otis Floyd with the sweet hands.
Now the Eskimos are arguing that he didn't make the catch. Let's have another look.
You see, just comes back and working against Troy Mills.
That ball's on the carpet. That was a trap ball and a missed call. And Tom Higgins.
Oh, he's upset. You can see him going, and rightly so.
They just played the replay here in the stadium, and the Eskimos have a beef.
But that's what they say when you're going up for the football, whether you be a receiver or a defensive back or a linebacker in this instance, you have to make it look like you catch the football. Don't give up on it. That's a great acting job by Otis Floyd. He got one for him.
Just the 6th interception of the year tossed by Ray. And we'll put an asterisk on that one. Crandall with 65 seconds to go. Ducks under the hit and lost his footing.
Flag. That should be a flag right there.
And it will be Kelvin Kitty. Well, let's see, maybe not. There is one marker.
Oh, this is late, and they're calling one flag against Calgary, but Kelvin Kinney comes back, stops, takes a look, and then absolutely helmets the quarterback.
Holding. Calgary 63. Penalties declined. Second down.
Well, Stephen Morley with the holding penalty, but how did Kelvin Kinney, who's working right there, how does he get away with this? Now he's going to get off the ground. Now he's off the ground. Now watch the helmet. I mean, that's a plant.
Well, they may have ruled that Crandall was still alive there and that the play hadn't ended. Here's a completion. And it's Hunden with the catch up near the 40, and with 40 seconds to go, Calgary moves the chains.
Well, McGarry's just going to do a streak pattern and clear right down the seam. Hunden, who's lined up on the outside at the wide receiver positions, is going to come back inside, working against Crutchfield. Once again, finding success in the middle of the football field.
First down Stamps as time winds down. First half, Crandall has Donnie Blair, his second catch.
Well, maybe Donnie Blair recognizes that the Labor Day game is the turning point of the season as well, Chris, because that's again another great catch coming off almost his knees to snag that football despite good coverage.
Stamps about 15 yards away from Mark McLaughlin field goal range. 23 seconds on the clock. Short drop and the out pattern. Hunden has been busy today too.
James Hunden with the reception.
But again, a good pre-snap read by Marcus Crandall, who took all the snaps this week in practice, recognizing, looking over and seeing Malcolm Frank playing 10 yards off. Quick throw to Hunden. If he breaks the play, goes a long way. If he doesn't, he still picks up 8 yards, and that's exactly what he picked up.
You saw Marcus Crandall giving it the Walby flex, which means they're going to go to the double tight end offense here. Second and a pair of yards with 18 seconds on the clock. And the give to Phillips. And Phillips should have the first down.
May have it. Go through the line.
Well, Lawrence Phillips, I mean, he's got such explosiveness. It looks like he's initially trying to go to the outside, but he's just reading it. Trying to find the opening. Picks up the first down.
Stamps call a timeout.
Just going to fake it. Goes outside, then he sees a little bit of a hole. He does that little stutter step, and that freezes Mobley just enough to allow him to get that seam to pick up the first down.
Now Jim Barker's life as a head coach in Calgary wouldn't have been as miserable if this guy would have been available for the entire first half of the year.
Hey, listen, sometimes you got to put up a little rain to see a rainbow, so.
Geez, you spend one day on the panel and you get all philosophical on me. 14 seconds on the clock. And the ball at the Edmonton 47. Crandall with time, looking up top. And looking for McGarity, who couldn't catch up with the ball. Great coverage there, provided by Donnie Brady.
Well, McGarity, who's had success against Donnie Brady, cannot get away from Donnie Brady, who does a nice job of just slowing down, not allowing McGarity to speed up and try and catch that football. He's going to throw it deep to the left corner. Donnie Brady is running in front of McGarity. If anything, by him slowing down, he can get the pass interference called on the receiver.
Yeah, McGarity looks like he's in a little discomfort after the bump with Brady. 2nd and 10. Crandall downfield and can't hook up with Peterson. And it will be 3rd down. And they will have to attempt a 54-yard field goal somewhere in that range for Mark McLaughlin, who's been good on 81% this year, but nothing longer than 45.
Well, McLaughlin, who had a little chat with Jim Barker, decides should they try it.
Now the danger is you miss and you give Edmonton an opportunity to do what McGarity did.
Absolutely. Right now, you know what? Don't play conservative a little bit here. The fact that you're playing so well defensively, your offense is moving the ball. Special teams has been producing today.
35-39, Grant.
Smart football.
So they'll elect just to punt the ball on what should be the final play of a good first half. in the 41st Labor Day Classic. And some confusion there as the wrong alignment is out on the Calgary punt team.
Violation. Calgary 97. Still third down.
Well, again,
10.
Rochelle, who's going to come on the field, was on the sideline. But a nice job of O'Mani not kicking that football, being one man short, possibly allowing for a block by the Eskimos.
You wonder if somebody on that punt team thought the field goal unit was on, but the confusion cost them some yards. But O'Mani gets the ball away. And October upended as he hit the 20-yard line. And that should do it for the first half. Well, we had some fireworks from McGarity, then the Eskimos got going. And then the Stampeders finally got their offense on track and a 9-point lead as we join Steve.
Thank you, Chris. Jim, a 9-point lead as you head to the room. That will surprise a few of the experts. Are you a little surprised?
Well, guys, I knew they would play hard, and you know, we're not giving them plays where they're making them earn everything they get. And if we do that, we can play with people, and that's what, you know, as long as we just don't give them things, we'll be fine.
Defense very solid, taking a little while for your offense to get rolling.
Yeah, it took us a couple series, but then Marcus got in a rhythm, and you know, we just can't take so many stupid penalties. I mean, that first drive they had for a touchdown with just too many penalties. So, you know, if we could just keep doing the things we're doing and try to stay in rhythm offensively and keep their offense off the field, we're going to be in good shape.
Jim, thanks for this. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Jim. Stampeders offensively in the game, but a terrific second quarter for Crandall and his offense. And for only the third time this season, the Stampeders have the lead at halftime, and they'll get their hands on the football early here in the second half as Hunden, who had trouble picking it up, now finds a seam and then gets stopped in his tracks. And it was Winston October with the contact.
After a 70-yard kickoff from Fleming.
I'll take a look at the first downs right here. Edmonton 13-11. Now remember, right here in the first quarter, they only had one. So they've really improved in that factor. Time of possession was huge in favor of Edmonton. The big turnover here, the interception by Otis Floyd in the end zone that nullified a drive by the Eskimos.
And the Stampeders happy with the 0 in the turnover category. They are second last in the league in turning the football over. And they'll start the second half in that double tight end offense. Play action, downfield. There's a catch by Peterson. And he nearly sprung it for a whole lot more as he works against the veteran Malcolm Frank.
Well, does a nice job of coming back to the football, putting the defender to cornerback Malcolm Frank in a trail position. We take a look at Marcus Crandall's passing chart. A lot of success underneath the 10 yards and under, but look at this. This is where you stretch a defense right here and you make them go deep. Marcus Crandall's done that successfully with Wayne McGarity being the prime recipient.
So the first strike of the second half is a 20-yard play to Peterson. And now on the weak side, Phillips hauled down Kelvin Kinney. Nice play from his defensive end position.
Eskimos number 92, Kelvin Kinney.
Well, Kelvin Kinney, nice job of fighting off the block of of Stephen Morley. We take a look at the first half possessions. The field goal, the touchdown, the punt single on their 6 possessions in the first half.
And they had to punt on that last possession. They were within a few yards of field goal range. You wonder if a couple of incomplete passes might come back to haunt them, as they had a chance to add 3 more in that first half. Crandall overthrowing Rochelle, the intended receiver, and it will be third down.
Well, Rochelle, who was getting coverage from Quincy Coleman, they were bringing the blitz on the short side. Malcolm Frank coming on the blitz, gets picked up. Crowell tries to go deep. Unsuccessful though.
Crandall pays the price and looks to the official for a flag that was not tossed.
I see Coach Jim Barker there having a laugh with Marcus.
Haven't been a lot of those on the sidelines in the first 10 games.
A lot of tears, not a whole lot of laughter.
O'Mahony punting it away and angling it out of bounds, so Winston October can't get his hands on the ball. So Ricky Ray goes back to work in the second half, and let's see how he distributed the football in the first 30 minutes of play.
Well, Ricky Ray was on fire in the first quarter, took that shot, finding a lot of success underneath as we take a look at 7 of 9 passes, 10 yards and under. He's gone deep a couple of times, trying to get some of his speedsters, Ed Hervey and Jason Tucker, involved in this offense. But really, only 4 first downs in the second quarter, and you wonder how serious the hit that he took by Napastuk and Otis Floyd.
Worst starting position of the game for the Eskimos at the 17. Ray on a roll, and he may take more contact as he slides down at the 22. George White in pursuit.
Well, Ricky Ray not being a stupid man, earlier in the first quarter we saw how he took around the corner and he led with his head. He was going to deliver a message to the defender. This time he slides safely, avoiding the contact as we take a look at their first half possessions.
And the controversial interception that snuffed an Eskimo scoring drive. Ray got 4, it's 2nd and 6. Good protection, Pringle out of the backfield. And he'll be tossed down at the 27-yard line. Anthony Malbrough,
number 26,
preventing a first down.
Well, that play took a long time to develop, and anytime the quarterback has to hold on to the ball that long, the secondary, in this instance, the Stampeders secondary, do a nice job of coverage downfield, forcing Ricky Ray to go to his outlet valve. Mike Pringle just going to slide out in the flats.
The Stampeders score.
Well, this spot requires a measurement, and it is a first down.
Well, that's a big first down for the Eskimos. Gets them out a little bit better field position. Calgary really hoping to kind of pin them back and force a decision by Coach Higgins when they're going on third down. All for not now, as he did pick up the first down.
39!
Quincy Jackson lines up wide. The top of your screen. Flag down, play doesn't get off.
Well, Joe Fleming's going to point at Bruce Beaton, and Bruce Beaton is pointing at Joe Fleming, and will...
Illegal procedure, Edmonton 62, still first down.
Obviously, the better debater on this instance is Joe Fleming as he wins over the referee's decision.
Well, Joe Fleming's been at... Let's take a look on the left-hand side. And a little flinch there. Quick step by Beaton. Fleming's gone from 3 and 15 with Winnipeg in '98 to a Grey Cup and trying to fight through this adversity. And a completion up to Quincy Jackson, the former Rough Rider who was eager to get into this Eskimo lineup and show Saskatchewan that they may have missed something.
He's only had a week of practice. Remember, he did start his career with Edmonton, but a lot of his teammates who were here then are not here now. But, I mean, you don't teach this. This is toughness. When you're slanting into the middle, there's good coverage, but Jason Bray, you don't know if that safety's going to come back in and lay a whooping on you.
He had 7, so it's 2nd and 3. Ray, a quick hitter, and Hervey's got a first down. Sanchez escorts him out at the 43.
Again, another pre-snap raid. Ricky Ray just taking a look where Sanchez is playing the defenders. Sanchez is playing off. They only need 3 yards. He just throws it quickly to the sideline. I can see him off, and he's backpedaling. Hervey only needs 3. He cuts it off, knows exactly where the marker is. Ricky delivers the ball.
Hervey with world-class speed had 7 catches last week against Saskatchewan, his best game of the year. Again, the fake to Pringle, and then back to Mike Pringle. And he's hammered at the 49-yard line. White and Fells converging.
Little play action shovel pass. First trying to freeze the linebackers with the play action, and then trying to run the shovel pass to Mike Pringle. who, as you say, Fells misses the tackle, but George White comes up and wraps him up.
Second for Eskimos.
So 6 for Pringle, 2nd and 4. As the Eskimos try to sustain this drive. Out of the backfield, Mills with the catch. And he'll have a first down. So the second catch for Mills, as Ricky Ray has used his running backs as receivers.
You just gotta love the way he's doing it, but I mean, he's utilizing both sides of the field. A lot of times quarterbacks will use that outlet to the short side. He goes to the wide side. Now Mills is gonna make this catch, and here comes Wes Lysek, who's really intent on trying to lay the shoulder down and just misses Troy Mills on the play.
Lysek back in the lineup after hamstring problems, and he's been likened to Rob Hitchcock, and he wanted to get a few kill shots in today. Flag down, Ray dumps it off underneath. Hervey wrapped, and he's punished. Catch at near the line of scrimmage, but again, a flag on the play in the Eskimo backfield.
Hold his ass up and clean his ass!
Well, a little holding penalty, you move him back.
Holding, Edmonton 67.
Well, Comiskey with the hold, but you really got to like the speed of the Stampeder linebackers who are dropping back and then allowing Ricky Ray to throw underneath, but they've got to come and make the play, and they're doing just that. Ed Hervey, who's trying to break free. They just little dump pass right now by Ricky Ray over the middle, but again, Willie Fells, the linebacker, comes up and nullifies it.
So first down over 20. First and 20, and Ray with Napastuk in pursuit. Ricky Ray is going to take off with the ball, and he's forced out of the Eskimo bench, and a flag goes down there.
Well, there's going to be
more than a flag.
Well, there's going to be some ejections now as we see the temper start to flare. We see some players getting thrown out.
Bench is clearing.
Sean Fleming.
Shades of the Flames and the Oilers as a number of Stampeders coming across the field.
I tell you what, they were kind of picking through the pile, sorting out which guys they didn't want in that scrum, and Sean Fleming, the kicker, got thrown out of there.
And for the first time in his career, Dan Kepley is a peacemaker.
Well, one of the things that Jim Barker said was we have to make smart decisions on a football field. That doesn't mean just as we're playing the game, but also don't take stupid penalties.
Yeah, Jim Daly all the way across.
Well, he's trying to get a hold of his player to bring his player back. Now the Eskimos are in his face.
Yeah, Kevin Lefsrud with some words for Daly. More flags. As you know, we've talked about this rivalry over the years, but I don't remember in over a decade of these games seeing anything quite like this.
Well, you know that when you push the quarterback and it's in his home bench and you take a roughing penalty, that the rest of the team is going to converge on the culprit. That's exactly what happened. But as also happened is the Stampeders on the defense came to his rescue, and that's where it all started to melee. And now we've got
still more. Hervey just took a poke at somebody.
Well, the referee went down. I think the referee's hurt. He's laying there, and he's not moving. And he's on the 48-yard line. And you can almost sense there's going to be some ejections right here. This is getting out of control. The fans aren't happy with it. They're voicing their displeasure.
Well, Hervey looked like he took a swing at somebody, and he caught the official instead.
Oh, you can see he's...
And it's Brent Butchko, the head linesman. So Hervey's day is likely done. We believe it all started with the late hit by Garrett Smith of the Stampeders on Ricky Ray.
Well, yeah, that's how it all started, Chris. I tell you what, Hervey will more than likely be asked to leave the ball game, and his wallet will be a little lighter when the league reviews this. It's not often we see a referee get caught up that bad in the turmoil and go down.
The only thing missing now is some ice and Don Cherry for some intermission analysis.
Well, if you thought there was no life in this Calgary team, or no hate between these two squads, even though a lot of them have switched uniforms over the years, Boy, I tell you right now, there is no love lost. As Coach Jim Barker and Coach Higgins are going to call their teams respectively together and have a word about controlling themselves.
Well, let's take a look at how it started with Ray forced out at the Eskimo bench. There's Garrett Smith, 96. And the flag flew immediately.
And if you look at that play, Chris, yes, it was a flag. He hit him out of bounds. It was just a push. The way it looked so bad, nice hurdle act, was he knocked over the Gatorade container. Made it look a little bit.
And Smith down at the bench drew plenty of attention.
Well, he pushes him out of bounds. He hurdles the fence and hits the Gatorade bottle, goes down on his back. And as he gets up the team, there's Chevrier.
Sheldon Benoit was there, and away they go. Otis Floyd gets into it.
I'll tell you what, when this melee gets cleared up, I promise you, there is going to be some hard hitting going on. We thought there was some contact before.
Well, maybe Kepley wasn't peacekeeping down there as he grabbed a stamp.
Oh no, I mean, come on. I mean, when the coaches are involved, you saw Coach Jim Daly run across the football field.
Well, we'll let Dave Ewell continue his assessment, and we'll be back with his verdict after this. Well, it's a long walk for Ed Hervey on Labor Day with a capacity crowd cheering him as Calgary, he's being escorted off.
2, Calgary 96.
So Hervey gone. We heard Garrett Smith and Davis Sanchez's number. And Dave Ewell still trying to get things right. Dorian Boost drew one of the flags for a face mask on Sanchez.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Calgary 96. And Calgary 92. Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Edmonton 91. Objectionable conduct, Calgary bench. Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Edmonton 81. Rough play disqualification, Edmonton 81. Second down.
So the only ejection is Hervey.
Well, the way he started reading out that list, you thought there might be other culprits asked to exit the stadium. Well, we heard Sanchez and Garrett Smith, and let's take a look again. You see Coach Daly in there in left route having a word with him.
There's Boost grabbing.
And you see Dorian Boost right there, and he grabs, and there comes the flag.
And Stampeders get that bench penalty. So let's go back to work after the long rap sheet. And Ray finds Quincy Jackson to the 45-yard line. It was 2nd and 26.
2nd and 20. It's Quincy Jackson, number 6.
And Quincy Jackson,
number 27,
that's a big part of that back.
Sam Young made the stop.
Well, the biggest thing now is you got to get back to playing football right now. And you got to get your head focused and turn back onto the football game right now.
And it's 3rd down and 4.
Wait.
And a quick scramble at the Calgary bench as they realize that it's a punting situation. I don't think Calgary knew what down it was after all the confusion. They have to call timeout.
Well, good call by Stampeders to call a timeout.
Otherwise, it's a 1st down on the penalty.
Number 89, James London, the lone man back from Calgary.
Okay, you got 27.
So now we are back to some semblance of order. 3rd down and Fleming in. Trying to kick it into the corner, and he'll put it out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line. No, they're going to mark it at the 12. And you can still see that the tempers are on a razor's edge here.
Well, Fleming with a masterful kick, pinning him inside the 15-yard line, and Both him and O'Mani have put on a great display of punting the football.
Well, it has been an interesting afternoon here at McMahon Stadium. 19-10. Stamps with the lead midway through the third quarter. Another packed house for the 7th straight year. And 11th time in the last 12 Labor Day Classics. 36,251. Full house. As the Stamps start, twin tight ends. And play action, Crandall went deep, and Donnie Blair stopped up. And the ball falls incomplete and nearly picked off.
Well, that's the first time today that we've actually seen a miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback. Marcus Crandall actually expecting Donnie Blair to keep running his route vertically. And
a reminder, the Warrior of the Game will be voted on. You can place your votes on the CFL on CBC website at the end of the third quarter. And maybe even Brent Butchko, who took a punch and is back in the game, maybe he qualifies for consideration.
There's a first for everything.
We've got a few Warriors out there. There's a long pass for Hunden, knocked down. Crutchfield was in his hip pocket, step for step.
There by the Eskimos, number 4, Darryl Crutchfield.
Well, everybody's revved up. I mean, they're talking to the benches. There's a lot of talk going on back and forth. Jim Daly wants to know why Crutchfield wasn't given a penalty for taunting the Calgary bench after the play. And if you're wondering about the touch that Marcus Crandall has on a football, right where it has to be, but an equally impressive job by Crutchfield, who then decided to lip off to defensive coordinator Jim Daly.
Yes, the mild-mannered Mr. Daly is right in the thick of it here today. Nice play by O'Mani to field that snap. And the ball kicks out of bounds at the 47-yard line. A 33-yard punt.
A 33-yard punt.
So the Eskimos set up in good field position right now.
Nice match. I will keep it snap.
As they start just outside the Calgary 45. Eskimos trail by 9. 5:55 remaining, third quarter. That same play we've seen a few times, back inside to Pringle, and George White hauls him down again.
Well, George White has to come over and make this play because the other two linebackers, both Otis Floyd and Willie Fells, are coming on a blitz. If George White doesn't fall off and make this play, the two linebackers are blitzing right there. There's George. Now he comes back. Now here he has to come in and he has to make that play. He doesn't make it. Mike Pringle's going to go a little bit farther.
Second and short yardage, and stacked up was Troy Mills. Joe Fleming in the middle of it, along with the middle linebacker, Willie Fells. We haven't seen Alondra Johnson today.
Well,
but
you know what, it's funny, I was just thinking the same thing. They talked about one of the guys they might miss, Chris, is AJ, Alondra Johnson, for his leadership out there. But I have to tell you right now, I've been very impressed with this linebacking trio. They have been around the football, and not just been around it, they have laid some hits on whoever is catching or carrying that football.
It didn't quite feel the same without the veteran Alondra Johnson, who had his knee scoped this week. He'll be out a few weeks, but they have played like AJ would have wanted.
Well, AJ has voiced his displeasure with where they are in the standings, the kind of circus atmosphere that's gone around outside of the football.
This is the kind of circus atmosphere you would have liked today, though.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Alondra Johnson on one side and Mike Pringle on the other would have been something to watch. But the Calgary defense forces this Sean Fleming field goal attempt of 43 yards. And Fleming will get it. And that one looked like it was close to a miss, so Fleming's field goals have been an adventure. Well, the day gets stranger. Sean Fleming missed one in the first quarter he thought he made. He makes this one, and everybody wearing red and white is sure he missed.
Well, let's take a look at it. We got the advantage of a replay now. It's starting off wide. Now, does it hook? Let's watch it come down. And as it starts to come down, just freeze it right there. Take a look. You can see it's to the outside of the post. And Chris, they got a lucky one there.
There's Lawrence Phillips bursting into the secondary and down to the 50. And he kept saying yesterday, if they give me the ball enough, I'll start breaking them.
Well, he says, you know what, I am going to wear them down. But it also keeps me in the football game. The offensive linemen are doing their job. I just have to bust it. And as you get back to the huddle, you see the old linemen slapping each other. They know they've done a good job. Get this guy an opportunity to get an open field.
Nice block by Scott Rechenbald, the fullback on Singler Mobley. 25 yards the pickup for Lawrence Phillips. The last 4 Calgary possessions have ended in punts. Phillips again. And down to the 45, crashing for 5 more. And Rechenbald is now caught up in a little duel on the sidelines with Mobley.
Well, Rechenbald and Mobley are the guys that are going after each other as Rechenbald is trying to open a hole. He's got to block the linebacker. That's the weak side or short side of the field linebacker. He takes him to the ground and ends up on top of him right by the sideline. Mobley doesn't like the way he's being treated. And once again, tempers flare.
Mobley, one of the leaders on that Eskimo defense. He got cleared out on the previous play by Rechenbald.
You can see him right to the right of your screen, and they're grabbing each other.
And 21, major foul, face mask, Edmonton, second down.
And they probably both got hooked up in each other's face masks, but the last guy to get noticed usually gets called.
They both have face mask grab, each individual one, both Mobley and Rechenbald.
Oh, and they did in fact call both. Thought for a minute Mobley was the only guy charged. So it's 2nd and 5. 6 receivers out. And over the middle, picked off. Donnie Brady gets the tip drill and has the ball at the 35, and we'll get more flags as some late hitting after the pick.
Well, Bobby Singh and Jamie Crosdale pulls him out. I believe this ball went off Daryl Crutchfield's helmet. Up in the air. You hate to use the way to use your head on this play, but interception definitely a result of, as you say, the tip drill, but I believe it came off of Crutchfield's helmet.
2nd interception of the year for Brady.
And this is where, as a Stampeder, you can't lose your cool. You're in this football game. You cannot start taking penalties.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Calgary 62, first down.
Well, Bobby Singh, again, we talked about this. Don't hurt yourself. Yeah, you're frustrated the interception was caught, but you can't do it. Now you can see him. As he goes down, he's right there, and he just basically keeps running, and he pushes Robert Grant over the pile after the whistle. Take a look at the interception, and he's right off of the back of the helmet of Daryl Crutchfield. Ball gets a nice bounce up in the air. Donnie Brady, Johnny on the spot.
Arlene, the intended receiver. Ray takes a hit. Mills can't hang on, and it will be 2nd and 10.
Well, good pressure by Antoine Young to force Ricky Ray to throw that before he wanted to. He wanted to set his feet, have a look downfield. Wasn't allowed that, just going to roll out, and he sees the pressure, has to get rid of the football. Just throws a little bit outside.
Boy, it's been an interesting 3rd quarter. Not many points on the board.
It's been exciting, I'll tell you that.
Both teams playing in a rage at this point. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Ray is caught and brought down back at the 40. Willie Fells, the middle linebacker, gets to Ricky Ray.
There's 2 people that we have to talk about. Willie Fells, who lines up in the middle over to center, then lines up to the outside. As he comes from the outside, Mike Pringle has got to see this. That's 34, that's your back. Now he's supposed to check inside out. Now he checks inside, he just doesn't get his eyes out to the outside quick enough. Not quick enough to get out there. Fells with the sack.
Pastic with a heavy push up front too, and they nearly block, and they do contact Sean Fleming.
Big boot.
So a penalty on the play.
You just have a wonderful defensive play where you're going to get the ball back for your offense. You understand that you want to make something happen on special teams, but you have to be under control. If it's roughing the kicker, you're going to get an automatic first down. Defense will come back on the field, and that great play by Willie Fells is all for naught.
Roughing or contacting, it was 3rd and 20.
Well, penalties, which has plagued Calgary all year, beside the poor play up to this game, once again showing its ugly face.
Contacting the kicker, Calgary 56. That penalty declined. Holding, Calgary 35, first down.
So the holding penalty is called, and they'll push the Stampeders back 10 yards from the point the ball went out of play, and that backs the Stampeders into their own zone. So the Eskimos do lose possession, but are starting to win a little of the field position battle.
Well, definitely the field position is definitely swinging in their favor. Now it's up to the defense to make a stand right now and shut down the Stampeders on their own 7-yard line, forcing them to punt from their end zone.
In week 2, the Stampeders squandered a big lead, lost 34-24. They lead by 6 here with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And are backed up. Reginbald lines up with the wideout position. Lawrence Phillips, weak side, and another big run, but there is a flag on the carpet.
Well, it seems like the red flags are getting to be worn out. We'll have to replace them after this game. They've been thrown down so much.
And that is likely to negate another good Phillips run.
Holding, Calgary 63. First down repeat.
Well, the point of attack, Stephen Morley, the left tackle. You wondered why Lawrence Phillips was so untouched as he rounded the corner.
Not the first time 63 has been called for holding in CFL history.
Not maybe in red. If we take a look at the matchup between the running backs today, 4 carries, Mike Pringle, 12 for Lawrence Phillips. That's a little surprising to see the 4 by Mike Pringle.
Pringle has done most of his damage as a receiver. First down over again at 14. As they go half the distance, over the middle. Arlane can't reel that one in. And he was open at the 20 in first down territory.
Second time today that Crandall has elected to go to Andre Arlane, dragging across the middle. Second time today, Andre Arlane a little frustrated with himself, not able to come up with the catch. Initially good protection, little play action. He throws the ball, he hit by Boos after, and at the end of the play, you can see right there, Andre Arlane unable to come up with the low ball, but catchable ball.
Crandall could have used that at 2nd and 14, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Kamau Peterson. And the Stampeders at their 3 are forced into a punting situation.
Well, I think if I'm Calgary right now, I'm going to get the whole offense on the side, buy a bench, and talk to them right now and say, look, guys, let's get focused again. Let's refocus what we have to do to win this football game. This is an instance right now where it looked like James Hunden, when he turned to get the ball, or Kamau Peterson, didn't expect it to be there. And as a result, when he turned the ball there, it went, bounced off him.
Now does O'Mani concede the safety here, or does he boot the football away? We'll see what Jim Barker has opted to do.
If he definitely concedes it, it still makes it a 4-point game, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Tries to take some time off the clock.
And we are in the final minute of the third quarter, and it's now a 4-point game, 19-15. These two teams will meet again on Friday, back at Commonwealth, the traditional back-to-back games. And our next game will be Saturday afternoon. Looking forward to seeing Joe Paupau's Ottawa Renegades, who are playing so well, coming off that big win over Montreal. And
boy, they look good. They look good, didn't they?
But the Tiger Cats are saying maybe that'll be our first win of the year.
Well, you looked at them today, Hamilton, in the game earlier, and they just keep coughing the ball up at inopportune times. That one down by the goal line by Darren Davis.
You know, the one thing that this weekend has changed with the win by Ottawa and the loss by Saskatchewan is there's no longer that guarantee that seemed to be that there would be a Western crossover. Ottawa and Toronto with wins now.
If you're in row 44,
we're certainly in the hunt for the third playoff spot in the East.
That's what you want. You want both divisions to be competitive as well as exciting. And that's what we're seeing so far.
I think it had been presumed that there would be 4 Western teams going on to the playoffs, and they're still in the driver's seat, but Toronto and Ottawa both with wins will be fighting for positions 2 and 3 behind Montreal in the East. So from the kickoff, Jason Tucker with the ball to the 25 as we join Steve Armitage.
Thank you, Chris. I'm with the COO of the Edmonton Eskimos, Rick Lalacheur. Rick, I don't think I have any trouble selling the rematch next Friday in Edmonton.
No, it really is the Battle of Alberta, and we have our back-to-school program as well, Steve. So I'd suggest everyone, you better get your tickets pretty early at the Eskimo officer or Ticketmaster. It's going to be a barn burner.
What else are you promoting that night?
Let's Tackle Hunger Night for the food bank, and Toonie for the food bank will really help them out. So it's going to be a full stadium. We had 61,500 last September, so we're going to see if we can match or beat that.
A sellout here this afternoon, a sellout next Friday. That'd be nice in CFL. Guys.
And a terrific catch by Terry Vaughn, a one-handed job with a defender draped on his back. And Vaughn has his first second-half catch.
Well, Melvo just kind of, as you see, sees him cut back. What a great grab of putting the hand back, but not only just knocking the ball, but knocking it forward because he's still running to knock it and have the ability to still concentrate and make that catch. And Melvo gets up and just walks back. Nothing you can do against that.
He just tied George McGowan for third all-time on the Eskimo receiving list. He's 2 away from Tom Scott, who's second. And now Mike Pringle caught from behind as he crossed the 45 by Joe Fleming.
Joe Fleming, great quickness from the defensive end spot to come off and grab that draw play.
We're into 3 quarters here in Calgary. Well, not as much pregame hype about the Battle of Alberta this year, but it's lived up to the history of this rivalry. Joe Fleming in the middle of it, exchanging hits with Mike Pringle, and we've had a whole lot more in what was a wild third quarter. And so we head down the stretch, a 4-point Calgary lead. And Ricky Ray looking up top. It has Jason Tucker down the sidelines. Touchdown, Edmonton. Jason Tucker, 64 yards, his 5th touchdown in the last 3 games against Calgary.
Well, Jason Tucker, who just gets behind Davis Sanchez and then turns on the afterburners, and boy, beautiful thrown ball by Ricky Ray. Little chop block by the offensive line, trying to buy a little extra time. Not even a pump fake involved, just pure outright speed to Jason Tucker. who just gets behind and keeps separating from the cover man, Davis Sanchez.
Eskimos back in front, the 4th lead change of the day. Fleming adds the extra point, and it's a 3-point Edmonton lead in the opening minute of the 4th quarter.
Now this is where you got to talk to your Chargers as a Stampeder. You got to say, listen, let's not do what happened last time when we gave up 24 points in the second half to lose that game. Nice job by the O-line. Beautifully thrown ball by Ricky Ray. Great speed by Jason Tucker, celebrating in the end zone 64 yards later.
Ricky Ray has engineered 12 straight points for the Eskimos. Maybe it's something in the water out here. University of Alberta and the Calgary Dinosaurs played Friday night in their opening game of the CIS schedule at McMahon. It finished 31-30 Calgary. The Dinos took the lead in the final minute, and then the U of A missed a last-second field goal.
Chris with that 64-yard toss to Jason Tucker. Ricky Ray again over 300 yards throwing the football with 322.
3rd time this year, back-to-back 300 games against Calgary and back-to-back 300 games overall. There goes Hundon. Hundon has a crease. Look out! James Hundon's gone! And just like that, the Stampeders regain the lead. So a missed field goal return for a touchdown, and now a kickoff return for a major score for the Stamps.
Oh, you want to find a way to answer. What better way than the very next play on the kickoff return? James Hundon just explodes through the opening, and then it becomes a foot race, and he wins that easily. As you say, going 103 yards to put Calgary back in front.
What an afternoon here at McMahon Stadium.
If there's anybody out there that's not watching this, I tell you, you are missing a fantastic football game.
Got the crease, and Sean Fleming wasn't going to catch him.
Oh, he stopped running at the 35. He said, I'm not even a chance pulling a hamstring. But just when the Stampeders were a little bit listless on the sidelines, heads a little bit down, thinking, oh boy, here we go. The other facet of the football, the special teams again answers.
That's backup lineman Samir Shaheen, who was injured on the play. McLaughlin adds the extra point. And just like that, Calgary has a 4-point lead. There's the line score. 5 lead changes on the day. The 5th provided by James Hundon.
Oh, electrified James, 103 yards. Him and McGarity. Wayne McGarity, they're kind of happy.
Hey, we're getting out the slump this week. They said it wasn't going to happen this week. Happening right now.
Trying to break the 6-game losing streak. 7 games in a row. The mark of futility in Calgary set back in '76. Trying to avoid that today, but we're far from done. Just a minute into the 4th quarter, and here's Winston October. Down at the 28.
Well, nice job. And I tell you what, one of the first things you have to do is you have to beat the first guy. Now, freeze it right there. Here's the first guy. That's the guy he has to beat. Now, look at the wall set up. Here's a block. Here's a guy coming back in here. Watch how he takes it in here. Let's run it now. He beats the wall. Now, there's the wall. He gets through it, and then it becomes a foot race. He beats the initial guy downfield, and that allows the rest of his blocking team to pick up what they have to do to create that seam, and James Hundon, 103 yards later, has given his team the lead.
Roger Reinson, usually so reliable on the cover teams, got double teamed there. And one of the reasons Hunden was sprung. Pringle surrounded and dropped for a loss.
You talk about momentum, Chris, right? We've seen it swing so many times, back and forth. It jumps on one bench, comes to the other bench. Mike Pringle looks like the loneliest man in the world after he gets his hand off. He doesn't know which way to go. Gets the ball in the backfield. It's a delay, just going to give it to him. Now look at him standing there. All he sees is red in front of him. Well, I better go down.
Well, all year, despite 2-8, that's been a good front four for Calgary. Young, Napastic, Maxey, and Fleming. 2nd and 12, flag down. And they don't get the play off.
And remember, they also have another player.
Time count violation. Edmonton 15. Still 2nd down.
What they like is Arias Monroe, but they suspended him because of missing practices and being late for meetings. As we take a look at the third quarter stats. Passing, rushing virtually equal, 61-63. Turnovers 1 apiece. Time of possession very even. Penalties. Well, when you have the melee we had in the third quarter, you expect both of them to be up there, and they are.
So now it's 2nd and 17, and listen to this crowd. 4 receivers wide side. Ray can't find anybody. Now dumps it off, and Pringle drops it. And they're soaking it all up here at McMahon.
Well, Mike Pringle drops the ball. Had he caught it, he still would have been short of the first down.
It is 3rd down.
Ricky Ray doing everything he possibly can to try and get his Chargers fired up again, make something happen, gets outside the line, quashes everything inside. Joe Fleming forces the set up. He hits him right between the 3 and the 4. Mike Pringle just can't squeeze the football.
Well, Hunden, who just touched off fireworks a minute ago, back to receive the Fleming punt. And this time nailed Glenn Young. Ensured that Hunden wasn't romping for the end zone again. 52-yard punt, 11 on the return. There's Samir Shaheen being carted off to the Calgary dressing room as we join Steve Armitage.
Chris, as a football player, this is one way you don't want to leave the field, especially in a game like this. Shaheen has a torn Achilles right tendon, and that is not good news.
That injury incurred on the Hunden kickoff return touchdown. At the 47th, Calgary back to work on offense, and a big hole for Phillips. And he gets to midfield and has 8.
Well, I tell you what, you had Hunden return that kickoff return 103 yards. Now take a look. Here's him on the very next punt. Now freeze it right there. You can see the hits here, but look at how they got the lanes. There's guys everywhere. He's got nowhere to go, and that allows Glenn Young to come and lay the helmet-to-helmet hit on him.
Lawrence Phillips got 8, so it's 2nd and 2. Phillips again, and he crashes down to the 51 and will move the chains.
Well, Lawrence Phillips, who's happy to be carrying or getting some of the work today. We've talked all broadcast about the fact that he's not happy with carrying the ball only 9 times a game. Feels that he can be more productive the more times he touches, because he says, as he has done today, eventually all will break one.
Fresh set of downs for Calgary. 4 receivers to the wide side, and Phillips wrapped up. Raheem Abdullah wasn't going to let him turn it upfield. As we update our Canadian Tire game notes.
Well, we talked about an offense, rev up the running game. The 2 victories, 155 yards, and Phillips 75 yards rushing today. Doing a nice job of mixing it up, making the pass more successful. The defense create turnovers. Floyd with their first interception since back in July.
Loss of 2 for Phillips on his last carry, so it's 2nd and 12. Crandall pumps and now looks deep. And Kamau Peterson was upended by Malcolm Frank, and the flag is thrown.
What's interesting about that, as you see Malcolm get up, the referee stands there. He's not throwing the flag. They're kind of looking at him as the back referee, Murray Clark, or Art McAvoy, number 57, who actually throw that flag.
Well, Peterson got tangled up with Frank.
See him on the bottom right there. Just
Illegal
basically
contact on the receiver. Edmonton number 10. Second down repeated.
Nice job on the boys on camera picking that one up on the sideline.
Frank may have saved a touchdown there. He knew he was beaten by Peterson.
That's what you call a good penalty.
And it's just a 10-yard penalty. So it's second down, over and 2 at the 43. Phillips, the lone setback, hurdled one man, and is brought down short. Flag is down.
Well, another flag is down, but A.J. Gass, he just blows in there and makes this play. He takes the left guard, I believe it's Jay McNeil, and pushes him back in the backfield, forcing Lawrence Phillips to hop over this block. Right there, just kind of pushes him right into the backfield. That changes the direction that Lawrence Phillips is trying to get.
Calgary 50. Penalties declined. Third down.
Jay McNeil called for holding, but the Eskimos declined the penalty as they stopped Phillips short.
I don't think that was a holding penalty. I think it's just A.J. Gass getting underneath the offensive guard.
Chris, safest bet in a football game is that nose will be bleeding, the bridge of his nose, sometime early in the first quarter. It's just the way he wears the helmet and the way he plays the game. He gets his nose dirty.
Well, he's tough at that middle linebacker position, no doubt about it.
He has put Kelvin Powell on the sidelines for the time being and brought a lot of leadership into that defensive huddle. O'Mani trying to pin the Eskimos at a great kick. It bounces out of bounds inside the 10. Terrific kick by Duncan O'Mani. Pins the Eskimos. Ricky Ray, a lot of steamboats, has Quincy Jackson up across the 15-yard line.
Quincy Jackson, number 6.
Well, it has been a war. Ricky Ray has been a target all day long.
That play took Ricky out for a number of plays, and they checked his ribs. And this was the one that started the big altercation. Good pressure by that Stampeder defense all afternoon long.
Government of Canada. It's easy and it's there for you.
Look at the numbers though, eh? I mean, you wouldn't think that. Once again, 24-33.
Again, the last 4 wins for the Eskimos. He's been complete 72% of the time. He's in that range again. And this is still a very winnable Edmonton football game. They trail by 4. First down, and down he goes. Joe Fleming brings Ray to the turf. A flag was down on the play, but that looks like Fleming's 10th sack of the year, and he leads the CFL in that category.
Well, you can talk to any offensive lineman around the league, and just mention number 76 for Calgary.
Holding. Edmonton 60. Penalties declined.
Well,
second down.
Chris Morris with the holding call. Forget that. They'll tell you right now, one of the hardest guys to block is Joe Fleming. And is he that much more talented? No, he's got the drive and determination. He just never gives up on a play, never takes a play off, just keeps coming. You can see him right in the bottom, right? Just gonna keep working, keep working, keep working. Gets down, now look at that. He's on the ground and still gets up and makes the sack.
And the holding call was on the man trying to block him. It's 2nd and 14, Fleming again! Ball's loose! And Calgary, are they on it? Let's see. Inside the 5, Joe Fleming with a second straight big play.
Let me tell you, Chris, Joe Fleming has gotten into Chris Morris's head. After he beat him and came off and made that play, the first
illegal
thing...
contact on a receiver, Calgary 29.
Oh, all for naught. Great individual effort, though, by Joe Fleming, who, once again, working against Chris Morris, just beats him around the corner this time. Last time he used a little bit of a bull rush technique. This time he just races him around the corner, strips the football, ball comes loose. All for naught as William Fields called for illegal contact downfield.
That's interference. Oh, you're good. That's good. That's good call, 57. You guys are
You know Jim Barker's opinion of the call. It's a 10-yard penalty, so it's 2nd and 5. They come again over the middle. Catch is made, but well short of the first down. Malbrough tossing Terry Vaughn down.
Anthony Malbrough, 26, wrapped him up.
And it will be 3rd down as we check Mr. Walby's Eskimo game notes.
Well, we talked about getting a good start in the first quarter, take the crowd out of the game, also create some doubt. McGarity, 126-yard missed field goal return for a touchdown on Eskimo's 2nd possession. That's what you want if you're a Calgary fan. On defense, keep Crandall Craig only 1 completion in the 2nd half. Done a pretty good job, but tell you what, as a unit, and I'm talking as a team unit, Calgary's really played well, though.
Great defensive play by Joe Fleming on that last series. Special teams have been huge for the Stamps with 2 return touchdowns. And now Hunden, and he's tripped up by Sean Spender, and there was plenty of room if he had turned the corner. Well, we're turning the corner into the home stretch. Less than 7 minutes to go. About the Canadian Football League.
We're going to have a couple chances.
And there is Mark McLaughlin in what has been reported as his last game. He wouldn't speak to the media on the topic yesterday. Expected to be named the new president of this team on Tuesday. Kamal Peterson, and he shakes a tackle. And Peterson up the sidelines and down to the 45. And this Canadian kid makes a big difference in the Calgary attack.
Well, we talked about it. We talked at the beginning about the fact they're missing Darnell McDonald, the big play guy, the receiver, and that's, you wonder how much more potent this offense is going to be when he gets back from his knee injury. But as you say, Kamal Peterson just shrugging off the attempted tackle by Malcolm Frank and taking it further downfield and picking up a big first down and putting him in Edmonton territory.
Windsor native who said yesterday that Santana Moss, the great New York Jet receiver, made quite an impact on him. Took him under his wing at Jet training camp. Lawrence Phillips back on the ground. Frank stepped up and then got help from Kelvin Kinney, who's had a busy day. And they contained Phillips on that rush, and he just gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Malcolm Frank, who was beaten on the tackle attempt by Kamal Peterson to play previous, atones a little bit by coming in here, knifing up from his cornerback position, taking the legs out of Lawrence Phillips, who does his best attempt to hurdle him.
You know, if every game was like this and every stadium was full like this, they wouldn't have those 30-minute specials on the State of the League.
You told me you'd do the games for free.
I might. And a pass intended for Rochelle, and that's incomplete.
Rochelle, the intended receiver.
But again, a good situation by the Calgary offense, moving the football. Again, field position. O'Mahony now punting from his own 50-yard line, hoping to pin again the returners deep in Eskimo territory.
30-38.
So O'Mahony wants a repeat of his last punt that was only 36 yards, but perfectly placed inside the 10. 5:10 to go. And O'Mahony might better his effort. Oh, he got an unfortunate bounce, and it rolls back out. And it's out inside the 1. Unbelievable. Little backspin. He pulled out the wedge, and he sucked it back. Well, Winston October had a chance for a brief second to concede a single point, and the ball leaked back into the playing field, and now they have to start at the 1. Ray in the end zone, flags flying, and Ray throws it over the head of Jason Tucker.
Well, more than likely a holding penalty, but I tell you what, Winston October with that decision-making process. Now, if he touches the ball as it comes back in, he's already got Jason Bray in the 5-yard, but he waits to see it. It rolls back out. Now, look at the expression. He cannot believe it. He come around and curled around the post.
It doesn't get any sweeter than that for a punter, and more frustrating for a returner. And now it's 2nd and 10 from the 1. Holding was declined, and the crowd revved up again. George White with the blitz, and a completion to, no, ruled incomplete. Quincy Jackson thought he had a catch near the first down stick. And now the Eskimos will have to punt from their end zone.
Well, Quincy Jackson working against the nickelback. Sam Young goes low, comes back to the football, tries to catch it, keep the drive alive. Just going to come back, and you can see that's a great call by the official. The ball was trapped and hit the turf and skipped into Quincy Jackson's hand. Take a look at Coach Higgins.
Likely to instruct Fleming to concede the safety. It's a 4-point lead. A 6-point lead would still give them a chance to win it with a converted touchdown. That's exactly what they do. 28-22 with 4:02 left here in the 4th quarter. Well, it has been an afternoon with just about everything you could want in a football game. And still 4 minutes and 2 seconds to decide the issue.
You know, it's one of those games, Chris, that if you actually walked away and ran to the fridge to make a sandwich, you're going to miss a big play. It's been that exciting.
Well, we've had a lot of scoring, big plays, big hits, and some bad blood.
Phillips, number 6 again, has about 5 more.
And even a little bench clearing. Yes, it has been a rumble. Calgary opts to take the ball at their 35, and Lawrence Phillips made a couple of moves, and then A.J. Gass said, "You're not going any further."
Well, the man they call Forrest Gump because of the 2 braces on his knees. 2 years in a row with consecutive ACL surgery, reconstructive surgery to the knees. Coach Higgins says he's back to where he was playing before he got injured. They love the way he leads in the locker room and on the football field, and boy, he sure can pack a wallop when he meets you in the hole.
Led the Eskimos in tackles last year till he went down with that 2nd knee injury in week 15. 2nd down, long out, and is it picked off? They're checking it, and they're ruling the interception. Shannon Garrett took the ball away from Donnie Blair.
Well, for an instant there, it looked like Donnie Blair and Shannon Garrett were fighting for the football. Donnie Blair kind of got up thinking, well, I don't think he got it, but Shannon Garrett comes up with a big play. As you say, only down by 6 points. Instant change of field position. Now they are in Calgary territory at the Calgary 43.
Garrett with his 3rd interception of the year, started at safety, but they love his ability to cover man-to-man and moved him back.
And I agree, he's a waste at safety. You know what, you don't want to play him at safety. He's the kind of guy you want to play at half, move him around, put him on the best receiver the other team has.
Under 3 minutes to go, and now Edmonton has the ball at the Calgary 43. Ray, pressure again, gets it away, incomplete.
And I tell you, once again, a holding penalty, Chris, on the offensive line of Edmonton. This defense is fired up. The Stampeder defense, Demetrius Maxey and crew in the middle are getting the job done.
Edmonton 65. First down repeated.
Left Shrewd with the penalty this time, but they've all taken a turn today.
And they're only sending 4 for Calgary. Joe Fleming is revved up, and this O-line has its hands full as they try to recover from the 6-point deficit.
It's first and 20 for the
Lefschut,
Eskimos.
a holding penalty, takes the ball back 10 yards to the 53.
Well, here's Lefschut right there, and all he's going to do is just slide. The Pastic's coming now. He blocks. The Pastic's down. Now freeze it right there. Take a look. There's the hand right there, and that's the hold. That's what the referee is calling as he grabs Demetrius Maxey around the waist.
Something has to give here. The Eskimos have won 4 in a row. The Stampeders have lost 6 in a row. Calgary with the 6-point lead. 2.5 minutes on the clock. Ray in trouble again, and he's able to get away. Directing traffic, throwing downfield, and the ball bounces incomplete. And Ray did very well just to avoid the sack.
Ricky Ray shows you what a warrior is all about right here. The fact that he gets away from this. Once again, tremendous pressure by the front four who are running a blitz. Coming through Antoine Young. Napastic has him right there. They're still chasing him, number 91, Maxey. There's George White who comes up, eventually forces it. The defense is doing its job. And here we go, second down.
And 20. The Eskimos need a win to keep pace with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers for first in the West. And again, Ray under the gun, got away. Wants somebody to go deep. And downfield, Terry Vaughn has the catch inside the 20. There's a flag on the play.
Well, it'll be interesting, Chris, because Scott Robinson and Sam Young to the sideline got involved in that. Which way will the flag go? Will it go against Robinson, or will it go against Sam Young?
There's also another flag closer to the line of scrimmage. And was Ray over the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball?
That may very well be, but I tell you what, I don't know what the record in a game for penalty is.
Illegal forward pass, Edmonton 15. Pass interference, Calgary 27. Second down repeated.
Well, we got Sam Young on the interference, but what they're saying is the line of scrimmage, as Ricky Ray is trying to, you can see right there, he's trying to motion everybody, and the referee right there with the flag. He's so worried about directing traffic downfield to get a receiver to go open that he forgets where the line of scrimmage is and goes over it before he throws the football.
Second down over, and Ray looking at 2nd and 20 again, and he's been running for his life. Steps up and delivers, and it's incomplete. Anthony Malbro knocked the ball away from the intended receiver, Rick Walters. Third down.
Well, they gave him the time to complete this pass. Now Ricky Ray looking downfield to right, tries to look off the safety, comes back, tries to get Ricky Walters, who's being covered by Jason Bray. Bray just comes right off the hip. They're not going to take a chance with Joe Fleming, and they've got Morris and Lefschut, the left guard, working on him.
Hunden's deep. We haven't seen Wayne McGarity much in this second half. That ball bouncing down, the Eskimos on it. And I don't think anybody from Calgary touched the ball, but no yards, flags flying. 1:49 remaining. Well, this one's not over, and we already look forward to the rematch with anticipation on Friday. 1:49 left on the clock. There's 15 yards net on the punt after the no yards penalty, and Lawrence Phillips up across the 50, and a first down for the Stampeders.
Big run, going to do a little double tight offense right now. Get Regin Bold involved at one side, and a little slide blocking. The line's going to go, and then look at the cutback, just right through there, right through the attempted tackle by Steve Charbonneau, and he's not touched until Quincy Coleman gets him, but not before he picks up a first down.
Clock running down to 90 seconds remaining, and a field goal would put this one out of reach.
How about those boys? Defensive line, what a big job done today.
Phillips again. And he gets to midfield before he's driven back. And Lawrence Phillips, 20th carry of the game. He's at 90 yards.
Edmonton.
And the Eskimos stop the clock with 1:19 to go.
Well, you got the timeout, you might as well use it. Get together with your defense, make sure you're all on the same page.
And
this is the big play right here, as you say.
They've got to stop Calgary on this 2nd and 7, and Greg Marshall sends instructions in from the sidelines. Our next game will be next Saturday afternoon. Frank Clair Stadium in Ottawa. The exciting Renegades against Danny McManus and the Tiger Cats, who put up a fight today against Toronto, but are still winless. Phillips on 2nd and 7. And he drives down to the 50, but will be 2 yards short.
Number 91 may be tackled.
Again, a slide blocking scheme where the offensive line will roll to the left. And that allows the running back, Lawrence Phillips, to find something play side or hopefully cut back. Picks up some yardage, positive, but not enough for the first down. And O'Mahony will come out and try and work some more magic.
Yes, we're in for a photo finish. Remember the last 2 O'Mahony punts out at the 8 and then inside the 1. Taking as much time off the clock as he can. And with 1 second to go, he'll take the timeout.
Calgary 97, still 3rd down.
With a time count violation.
10.
That's a good job of utilizing the clock. Making the clock your friend, don't make it your enemy.
In October, the lone man back. Mike Pringle in the offense for Edmonton will have less than a minute, and they need a major score. Bad snap, and O'Mahony, a tremendous boot, and he'll do it again, and they'll mark this one close to the 10. Out at the 13 after he did a terrific job of playing shortstop. And a 47-yard punt.
Well, you saw everybody on the sideline basically catch their breath as he had to pick up the snap, fumbled it, and then just gets off a nice kick, as you say again, hitting him at the 14-yard line. But what a job he's done all afternoon.
So it comes down to this, 47 seconds left. Marcus Crandall watches as his counterpart goes to work, needing to generate a touchdown. Walters with the catch, and he'll step out at the 23 after Ray delivered and then got jolted by Joe Fleming.
Joe Fleming and Ricky Ray have met at least a dozen times this afternoon as we see Lawrence Phillips hoping to celebrate that victory, but Joe Fleming just running another stunt. They've done this all afternoon. He's just going to loop back inside.
Second and 1. Mike Pringle weaving his way up to the 40-yard line. And the Eskimos get better field position. Fresh downs, 36 seconds to go. Well, we may still be awaiting the play of the game, but our Subway play of the game right now is the return by James Hundon, 103 yards, answering a go-ahead touchdown by the Eskimos with one of his own. Here's Ray, wide open is Quincy Jackson, and he's knocked out at the Calgary 49. We're not done yet.
Well, Stampeders better get their heads together right now, because that was definitely a miscommunication. Way wide open. Quincy Jackson on the sideline, no one around him. Gotta get that stuff straightened out. You've just allowed Edmonton to your side of the field now.
First down, Eskimos trying to break the hearts of the Stamps here. Look out, Ray gets it away, incomplete, as he was Jolted from behind, George White. And you've talked about the linebackers today, Chris.
I have been so impressed with this linebacking crew. I tell you, they have done the job. We talked a lot about that defensive line only rushing 4, getting pressure. But George White, Otis Floyd, and Willie Fells have played a masterful game. Look at the speed. Look at staying after him. Big play there by George White.
2nd and 10 with 16 seconds to go. This is where the Eskimos would have loved to have the speedster Ed Hervey, because they need something deep now. Ray over the middle, incomplete. And they're down to 1 play.
William Fields covering the hip pocket of Terry Vaughn. Terry Vaughn is going to cut it back inside to the sideline. Looks up, and there's Kelly Melville.
Well, the Labor Day Classic's on the line of this play. We need your help. Let's get ready.
Bedlam at McMahon. The Eskimos practice the silent count all week. They'll need it now. 3rd and 10. Ray downfield, incomplete, and the Calgary Stampeders turn it over on downs and will snap the 6-game losing streak.
Well, the lifeblood of this team has been the defense. They've been on the field too long, too many times all year long. Today they got some help from special teams in the offense, but boy, when the backs are against the wall, the defense again rose to the occasion, shutting down Edmonton, and as you say, ending that 6-game losing streak. You got to be happy for those two guys right there.
Tumultuous year in Calgary, but sweet Labor Day victory here. And if they could win the return engagement at Commonwealth, they may very well be in the chase for the crossover.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're in Edmonton, you better go get some tickets quick, because I guarantee you this place, you won't be able to buy a ticket at Commonwealth to watch this rematch of these two teams.
Well, the refrain here is with Marcus Crandall healthy.
Art McAvoy should
Calgary's a good football team. And they demonstrated that today. The final play, and this one will go into the books as one of the better Labor Day classics in recent memory, and a 28-22 Calgary win. James Hunden's 103-yard kickoff return touchdown. The difference here on a hotly contested afternoon at McMahon. Let's join Steve Armitage.
Thank you very much, Chris. Is this the last game for Mark McLaughlin in a Stampeder uniform?
Well, we'll have that announcement tomorrow, but you know, we've got to turn this franchise around, and we have a plan to do that, and we're going to talk a little bit about that tomorrow. But great effort today from the guys. You know, glad to be a part of it, but we ain't done yet.
If you are indeed retired now, why now?
Well, it'll be unveiled tomorrow as far as what we need to do as an organization to move forward. So, you know, we need to get a hold of this thing, and we need to create an environment where our players can be successful, and that's what we're going to do.
16 years, over 2,000 points. Any one memory that's going to stick forever?
Well, you know, this is a great memory right here in respect to this year. So, you know, there's been a lot of them, and I'm just happy to have been a part of it.
Thank you very much, Mark. Mark McLaughlin, if indeed retired, one of the stars in leading the Calgary Stampeders to a thrilling 28-22 win over the Eskimos today.